Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining us on this independent off-tube studio commentary. The game at Turf Moor has just got underway. It's the early kick-off in the Premier League after the international break, and it's Burnley taking on Chelsea. This potentially could be a long afternoon for Scott Parker's side, although they have shown some decent form at home, a couple of poorer performances as well. But they're up against the Chelsea side, who have been showing very good form over the last month, especially the last defeat for Chelsea coming at home to Sunderland on the 25th of October. And since then, it's been a very solid month, really, for Enzo Maresca's side. So they'll come to Turf Moor confident. They're already pressing here at the edge of the Burnley penalty area, and Carl Walker getting into a bit of a tangle. He loses the ball, eventually just manages to play it away before Chelsea could really capitalise on it. But the visitors have now won possession, and they've gone back towards the halfway line. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and Dale Rosso taking you through the action. Dale, Chelsea, strong favourites. They want to be on the ball for most of the game, don't they?
Yeah, strong favourites coming into this game, and it's for a good reason. They're very good at holding on to the ball. It's a long ball here into the box, well claimed by Dubravka. But yeah, they're a team who like to hold on to the ball, and not only that, they like to create opportunities and score goals. So, like you said, it could be a long day for Scott Parker's side.
Certainly could be. Long clearance now from Dubravka over the halfway line. It's flicked on by Fleming, but it's just a little bit too much on that one for Jadon Anthony. Just to remind you the two teams then. For Burnley, there's Martin Dubravka in goal with a back four of Carl Walker, Axel Tuanzebe, Maxime Esteve and Quidalishi Hartman. Florentino and Josh Cullen are the two holder midfielders, with Luam Tichuana, Leslie Ugochukwu and Jadon Anthony as the attacking midfield three, playing behind Zian Fleming. As for Chelsea, Robert Sanchez in goal. Then it's a back four of Reece James, Trevor Chalobah, Tosin Adarabioyo and Mark Cucurella. The holder midfielders are Andre Santos and Enzo Fernandez. The three ahead of them, Pedro Neto, João Pedro and Jamie Gittins, with Liam Delap as the frontman. A long ball played towards the edge of the Burnley penalty area, but that one is easily claimed by Dubravka. And then a ball up towards the halfway line, headed on quickly here by Santos. It's over to Cucurella here on the left-hand side. Chelsea in their white and sort of off green, I suppose, white shirts, slight cream sort of white shirts, green shorts, white socks. Burnley as always claret and blue at home, and the ball now with Burnley here. Captain Josh Cullen just looking up. He thought about a long ball, playing it square now towards Esteve. And I think that's going to be the issue for Burnley, is that they're probably going to have some possession, but most of it's going to be in their own half. I'll get your thoughts on that in a second, because quickly Ugochukwu has actually won the ball back and played it out towards Walker on the right-hand side, who's gone on a run. He's got to the edge of the area as well. Just holds it up, leaves it here for Tichuano, puts a ball towards the back post. Hartman is there, but the ball into Hartman was just a little bit overhit, maybe, just in the air for too long. But now a bit of a mess here at the edge of the Chelsea penalty area. Sanchez charged to the edge of his own box. I think he dropped the ball as he was trying to throw it out. And so Burnley have it back here, but a bit of chaos here in front of the Chelsea goal. Yeah,
a lot of chaos. There's even a Chelsea man down. The referee, Peter Banks, he stopped the play just to make sure he's okay. It looked like it could have been Reece James up on that right side. It's actually Enzo Fernandez who's gone down. He's just come back from an injury as well, so cause for concern there. We just get another look here at what happened. It looked like he was going to kick it out, and then it's actually come together with the back of the head of Enzo Fernandez. So really just unfortunate for Chelsea, but almost their undoing.
Absolutely. There was a look of just before that ball hit the back of Enzo Fernandez. There was a look as almost as if he was looking towards the keeper, saying, "Go on, roll it out to me then." And then he realised he wasn't, so he just sort of moved away. And then seconds later, he gets hit in the back of the head by his own goalkeeper, trying to clear the ball. But looks like everything's fine with Enzo Fernandez. Will be a drop ball here. A bit frustrating actually for Burnley, because they were just starting to get into a little bit of a groove. They're putting some pressure on that Chelsea goal. The cynic in me might even suggest that Enzo Fernandez sensed that as well, which is why he probably thought it wouldn't be a bad thing to show that he had a bit of a head injury. But of course I can't prove that, as the drop ball flicked into the penalty area straight away. It's a nice idea actually. Normally a drop ball, teams just try and have some possession, but Burnley tried to play it forward straight away. Andre Santos just caught in midair there by Zian Fleming. But now it's Pedro Neto trying to start something here for Chelsea. What a run this is down the left. He was hugging that touchline. He keeps it in play, gets all the way to the edge of the area before Esteve actually does really well to win the ball back and keep it in play as well.
Yeah, Esteve's done really well there to not only win it back, but as you said, stop it from going out for a throw, because Chelsea looked like they were going to build a bit of momentum, trying to come up the right with Pedro Neto, and he absolutely put the burners on to run up that right side and just get past everyone in claret and blue. And Burnley almost undoing their own momentum here as they're trying to come forward the other way.
They are, and it's now on the halfway line. Ugochukwu playing it back towards Axel Tuanzebe. It's Burnley just trying to take the sting out of that really positive start there that we saw from Chelsea. It's clear that Burnley just wants to try and hold on to a little bit of the ball. But it's certainly a more attack-minded Scott Parker side than we might have seen in the previous seasons. I think he must have known last season with Burnley's amazing defensive record of conceding one goal every other game, or even less than that at one stage, that he knew that wasn't going to carry on in the Premier League, so they had to have a plan B in terms of having a few more attacking options. They've actually had some decent games going forward. Fleming has shown some decent form as well. Just a case of whether they can try and arrest the Chelsea ambitions this afternoon, as Colin now plays the ball, and Anthony's ball, I think he was looking for Ugochukwu. It would have been better if he was looking for Fleming, because he was just a bit closer to him. Esteve then slides in just to stop a run from Andre Santos, and this ball bouncing all the way to the Chelsea penalty area, where Sanchez won't let it go out for a goal kick. It just clears it long straight onto the chest of Maxime Esteve, who leaves a little bit under that pass, just a little bit short there towards Tuanzebe. But Burnley will be very happy to know that as Delap was trying to close that down, he was doing it from an offside position.
Yeah, they'll be more relieved, I think, than anything else. They don't know he's offside, and if he times his run a little bit better, it looks like they could be in trouble.
Oh, they've given it away here now, and James has stepped forward. He finds Fernandes, and at the edge of the area, Gittins then lays it off to an invisible Chelsea player. I think he was hoping that João Pedro might have been a bit close to it. Now there is going to be a free kick here in favour of Burnley, but the referee does give the Clarets the advantage, and it was the right decision, because now an early ball is played down the right hand side, and he's onside here is Tijuana. He gets into the penalty area. He's going to go alone, is he? Oh, we could have looked for Fleming. His shot charged down there by the challenge of Tosin Adarabioyo. Adarabioyo's ball forward is to João Pedro. He was brought down by Josh Cullen. That's what the referee says anyway, although the Burnley captain has his own views on that. Free kick to Chelsea, but it's going end to end here now.
Yeah, and it's really good work there from Tijuana. He's done well to cut in on his left foot, and in the end it's actually Chalobah who puts in the challenge, and it's a really good challenge to not only react but completely block the shot. And we've seen it many a times where it's bounced off the defender's leg and it could go anywhere, so he's done really well to get that away from goal.
Certainly has, and that was a decent run that from Tijuana, and it all came from the referee. We've got to give credit to the referee. I think the instinct there would have been to give Burnley a free kick at the edge of their own box, but he waited a second or two, realised that Burnley still had the ball in motion, and he allowed play to go on, and that allowed Tijuana to go on the counter, but his effort well blocked by the Chelsea defender. It is now the visitors in possession here with Reece James. Just square to Trevor Chalobah. Now it's with Adarabioyo back to Chalobah, pressing here from Tijuana. Gets the ball out towards Marc Cucurella. He looked up there for a second there, Chalobah, but just prefers to go square back towards Adarabioyo. And now Andre Santos trying an early ball. That's well read though by Esteve. Heads it forward. Anthony is across on this left hand side now for Burnley, playing it back towards Hartman. It's a quick ball now towards Cullen here, as Burnley looking to try and push forward. Just to tell you as well, we have got 3 games in the Championship as well. It's Bristol City already taking an early lead at home to Swansea. Charlton 0-0 with Southampton, and it's 0-0 between Coventry and West Brom in that West Midlands derby, but we are hearing that West Brom have just taken the lead in that game as well, as Burnley give the ball away in midfield. He goes straight through towards Liam Delap, and he's charging through the middle. He gets to the edge, and he goes for goal himself. And he actually runs into his own teammate there, the one that he probably should have passed to, because although he had a window to shoot there, Dale, I thought there was a moment there where he might have laid it off towards Pedro Neto as well.
Yeah, listen, I don't think anyone's ever going to complain about a striker shooting, even if it is from that range, but if he had the awareness, there was runs all around him to play someone in a better position. So
yeah, absolutely. As well as that one to Pedro Neto on the right, there was also Gittins on the left as well, and he could have also just checked his run and try and set things up. But he was on the run, he saw an opportunity, went for the top corner, ends up missing the target. Long clearance now from Dubravka up towards half a line. It seems to me that might be a theme today. I don't see Burnley playing out from the back very often today, because Chelsea won't be afraid to leave 3 or 4 players up there. As that ball now towards Delap on the right hand side. Just a bit of an awkward bounce there for him, and he goes out for a throw. It's an interesting one really with Delap, because due to the injury to Cole Palmer, it means that João Pedro is playing in Cole Palmer's position, because I think and originally those two would have been in competition for the number 9 spot. Yeah,
and I think that it's probably going to be a change in dynamic where, almost similar to the old 2-striker formations, where Liam Delap, if he can get the touch on the ball and bring it down, almost the traditional big man, and then João Pedro in behind or around him to lay it off to, I think it could work well. I think both players have the ability to score goals, and ultimately that's what Chelsea want to do.
They absolutely do, although they're struggling to get the ball now as Burnley in possession here. It's back with Dubravka. Tries a long ball towards the halfway line. That's really good touch there from Fleming, and he threads that ball through towards Jadon Anthony. The referee plays an advantage, and Anthony's in it. He's gone to a slightly wide angle. His shot is charged down. That is a decent cover there from Andre Santos, but the ball kept alive here now, and it's Anthony back towards Tijuana. Chelsea back in numbers here, but Colin finding Anthony, who's moved over to the right-hand side after that counter-attack. It's now Kyle Walker putting a curling effort into the penalty area. It's onto the head of Quidilishi Hartman, but he was leaning back. That ball was just a bit too fast for him, I think, and he heads it over the bar. But you've got to say, when Burnley get their chances, the one thing that's helping Burnley, I think, is Chelsea are playing a very high offside line. Yeah,
and Chelsea, not only that, when they're coming back to defend, they're committing in numbers, almost over-committing, where they're sitting a little bit deep when they do have to defend, and that's allowing them to put these balls into the box. The Kyle Walker ball there, right idea, right space, maybe just too much speed on the ball.
Just a bit too much there from Walker in the end, but again Chelsea almost giving it away there in midfield. Enzo Fernandez stepping in just to get the ball before Ugachukwu was able to do so. It's now with Tosin Adarabioyo square to Reece James. James now looking up to see what options there are. Burnley don't play quite as high on offside line as Chelsea do, but they have pushed their defenders forward a little bit further as well. They don't want to be caught out by the kind of long ball that Adarabioyo has just tried. It's easily going to be onside here for Pedro Neto, but Hartman is tracking him there. Is Hartman fouling him? I mean, the referee says no. He obviously felt as though Pedro Neto was leaning into him, and in fairness, Pedro Neto doesn't even raise a hand to complain, so he obviously felt as though that was the right decision.
Yeah, and I have to agree with the referee. It always looked like Pedro Neto was almost hugging on to Hartman himself and backing up into him to make the contact.
Oh, what a lovely ball. This is into the box though. Anthony, he just waits a second too long. He goes for goal from a tight angle. It all starts with Tijuana, who seems to have switched with Anthony momentarily. Tijuana was on the left, and he got a chance to put a ball into the box. He did put a ball into the box. The effort, though, was charged down, but it's cleared towards the edge of the area. Another ball into the penalty, headed clear now. Decent header away that by Gittins is having to come back into defend. This is a good little spell for Burnley. Although they haven't really tested Robert Sanchez yet, it's just his defenders that are doing all the work.
Yeah, it's good momentum for Burnley to build up, but they're taking too long to actually unleash the shot. It's 2 or 3 times now that a Chelsea defender is able to get back and get their body in front. And it's not just that they've got a touch on the ball, it's been so convincingly that they've got in front of the ball that Robert Sanchez just hasn't been tested.
Not been tested at all, but certainly had some work to do in terms of orchestrating his defenders, who've had a couple of crosses and a couple of shots to deal with in terms of trying to charge them down, pick them off. But Chelsea in possession now here with Reece James, closed down by Anthony. Fleming closes down on Adarabioyo, but the ball is played up towards the halfway line where João Pedro lays it off for Delap, and Delap finds space down the left here now for Jamie Gittins, who gets towards the edge of the area. It's back to Liam Delap, and there's a quick 1-2 there with João Pedro. It's the right idea, but just a little bit too much. There was just a bit too much pace on the whole attack, so that through ball there from João Pedro, the 1-2 with Delap, just too close to Dubravka in the end.
Yeah, João Pedro, all he's done really is let the ball bounce off his foot essentially to put it into the right place, but unfortunately for Chelsea, as you said, the ball's come into him too fast, so it's also come off him too fast for Delap to connect to the second pass. It's really good play from Chelsea, it's the right idea, and with plenty of time left on the clock, I'm sure they'll get it right.
Well, they'll certainly be hoping so. They haven't really had as much attacking possession as I think they would have hoped for after 13 and a half minutes here at Turf Moor, but Enzo Maresca, he did say before the game that he's aware of just how much of a threat Burnley are. And from his side's point of view, they've certainly got plenty of options on the bench as well in terms of trying to spice up the attack or indeed shore up the defence if they need to. Go through the substitutes later in the half, because right now Burnley have won the ball back. It was a chance there for Anthony to go forward, but he gets stopped by Reece James. And Reece James' clearance almost ends up like a good diagonal ball for Jamie Gittins. And the ball just a little bit too far out for Gittins to keep it in play. Walker now restarting play, throwing that ball in towards Ugachukwu. Up towards Esteve, flicked on here by Anthony. Strong challenge there from João Pedro. Too strong as far as Peter Banks is concerned. A free kick to Burnley. Yeah, and João Pedro here, he's got every right to go into this tackle, but I think it's almost as if he's gone in a little bit too early and too aggressive. He knows that the Burnley man's going to go for the ball, so as long as he gets himself ahead of him, he thinks he's okay, but the fact is he's gone in to the ground, and that's probably the most dangerous way to do it. It is. It's say centre forwards tackle, or we use that expression sometimes, and I think that probably sums it up. He was just a little bit too worried about the foul, so he ends up sliding in too soon and commits the foul anyway. As Florentino does something similar now after that long free kick for Burnley was played towards the edge of the Chelsea penalty area. Florentino just clashing there with Enzo Fernandez, and that will be a free kick to Chelsea, taken back towards the edge of their own penalty area. 15 minutes on the clock. It is goalless here between Burnley and Chelsea, and actually Burnley, a couple of half chances, maybe certainly a couple of dangerous counter-attacks, albeit no effort on goal to speak of, other than an effort that was charged down. James now square towards Tosin Adarabioyo, back towards Robert Sanchez. There is some pressing here from Anthony, and almost into a bit of a cul-de-sac. There goes Reece James, but he turns out of trouble, plays the ball to Sanchez, whose quick pass out towards the left isn't the best. It just puts a bit of extra pressure there on the left-hand side for Chalobah. He's now back with Tosin Adarabioyo, plays it towards the halfway line. Esteve steps forward, and he just does enough to get that ball away from Delap, and then Hartman, along with Cullen combined, can win this ball back for Burnley. Pressure here from Delap straight away, as the visitors not looking to sit back too deep. Burnley trying to get something going, but again, they can see just how high that defensive line is. If they could just get that ball out, they'd have a chance. But we'll break off from that though, because now Enzo Fernandez wins the ball back for Chelsea, plays it into Pedro Neto, and he charges towards the penalty area, goes for goal. I think his effort got a deflection, and that will be the first corner kick of the game, and it will be for Chelsea.
Yeah, Pedro Neto on the right hand side. We know what he likes to do. He likes to cut in, use his left foot, and he does it so well. Picks it up, and then not only does he pick it up, but he slows it down just to throw off the momentum of the defender, cuts inside, tries to take a shot. It's a good block in the end. Chelsea with the first corner.
So the first set piece of the afternoon. It's taken 16.5 minutes, and it's Reece James. It's going to be a right-footed in-swinger here from the left-hand side. Just waiting to see where his teammates are. There wasn't a short option there for Marc Cucurella just at the edge of the area, but he's now gone into the box as well. He's actually decent with headers here. Cucurella, that's a decent free kick, as a decent corner kick, I should say, there from James. It was curling right underneath the crossbar there. Needed a punch away from Dubravka, and it's a decent one, in fairness, up towards the halfway line. The two last men back for Chelsea there were Pedro Neto and Andre Santos. It's now played back towards goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. Closed down here, but he has plenty of time to get this ball out towards Adarabioyo. It's with Enzo Fernandez. Burnley trying to push as high up as they can, and it pays off in the end, because Fernandez plays the ball out to Pedro Neto, which was over here, and it's out for a goal kick. Yeah,
they're clearly looking to play them in behind Enzo Maresca's side, and I think it's a valid tactic coming up against Scott Parker's team, but it's all about the timing of it. They need to catch Burnley out while they're moving up and while the Chelsea players are running in behind, and the pass just has to be right, and so far they haven't been.
No, they just haven't. No, absolutely. We actually saw the Burnley mascot there playing rock, paper, scissors with some of the younger fans in the front row. That's not to say it's been a boring game. It's actually been a decent game so far, but the mascot there just doing his best to entertain the younger fans, as Chelsea now going on the attack. Quick ball down the right-hand side here for Pedro Neto. He gets to the edge of the area. He's got three in the box if he could try and pick one of them out. The cross is aimed at Delap, but he was well marshalled by Axel Tuanzebe. It's cleared to the edge of the area where Chelsea have another chance here with Gittins trying to play a 1-2 with João Pedro. That was a better ball back than it was previously for Delap, but still too many Burnley players in the way. Cleared out into midfield, where Pedro Neto drops a bit deeper, rolls this back towards Reece James, and James's ball forward here. Pedro dummies that and leaves it for Delap. Delap is at the edge of the area, had two Burnley players in front of him, finds Cucurella, and now Gittins on the left hand side breaks into the penalty area. Gittins goes for one towards the back. I'm not really sure what that was from Jamie Gittins in the end, whether it was a shot that goes completely wrong, or it's a cross that goes completely wrong. In the end, it's out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I just don't think he got any of the connection with the ball correctly, really. Enzo Maresca clearly doesn't look happy with how that went, and I think validly enough, because in that position, in the penalty area, you have to do better there, no matter who you are, no matter what side you're playing for in the Premier League. Gittins has to do better there, and he's shown he can do better. Up against Kyle Walker, of course, so maybe a lot of pressure from him.
No, absolutely. I think from Gittins' point of view, as you mentioned, he's not seen too much of the ball, so that's I suppose it's all part of the mental strength players need to have. It's almost like they try and do too much when they get the ball, when actually sometimes just one touch and look up and a pass is sometimes better than trying to go for goal. But Burnley now win it back in midfield, and now it's Hartman playing an early ball to the edge of the area. Tuchuana goes for goal. It's an effort on target, but he was concentrating so much on hitting that rolling ball first time that he ends up just curling it straight down the middle into Robert Sanchez, who didn't have to even move to make the save. He just makes it standing still. But it's something from Burnley. They're just trying to add a little bit of pace into it all.
Yeah, and of course, to win the lottery, you've got to buy a ticket. So I don't blame Tuchuana for taking a shot from that distance, especially not the way he hit the ball. The connection was right. The issue was the placement, of course. If that's 5 or 6 yards to the left, Robert Sanchez, he's got a difficult save to make. So I don't blame him for taking that shot at all.
Oh, and Burnley will be hoping they can get more shots away as they have the ball back in midfield now. It's with Cullen back to Nzebe. Esteve now back to Dubravka. Is just taking his time. It finds Florentino, although he's under a bit of pressure here from João Pedro. Florentino still finding a pass out towards Walker. Nice little 1-2 there. Florentino then gets it back, but his pass towards Tuchuana is blocked. The Burnley are appealing a handball. Referee is not interested in that, and Chelsea now have it back here in field. Just to tell you as well, we've had goals in all 3 championship games now, and we've had 4 in one of them. Bristol City still up 1-0 against Swansea. Coventry a goal down at home to West Brom, but now Southampton have gone 4-0 up away to Charlton. So as I say, they did get rid of newly appointed manager in the summer, Will Still, just before the international break, and it certainly seems to be paying dividends with that scoreline after just 23 minutes. We're at 22 minutes here at Turf Moor. It is goalless, but the visitors have just started to see a little bit more of the ball in the last few minutes as Adarabioyo, now under pressure from Anthony, goes back towards his keeper Sanchez. James now to Cucurella, who's drifted into a central midfield role there. Now it's with Enzo Fernandez down the right-hand side into the Burnley half. Just checks past 2 Burnley players before rolling it towards Andre Santos. Santos gets it back now from Chalobah. James out towards the right-hand side here. Pedro Neto under a bit of pressure there from Hartman. Back towards James, who then switches the play out towards the left-hand side. It's a decent idea to try and get the ball out to Gittins, but just too much on that, out for a goal kick. Yeah,
and it's like you said, it's the right idea. We've seen it before from Reece James, trying to play that diagonal ball, trying to get Gittins involved. Gittins the type of player who the more time on the ball, the more confident he is and the more capable he becomes to influence the match. But so far Burnley are doing well to disrupt any momentum that Chelsea start to build.
They are. That's exactly what Burnley are doing, and I think it's important from their point of view that they can maintain that for as long as possible. I do feel that Chelsea's approach may change if they were to score first. Might make things a little bit more difficult for Burnley, as Cucurella is appealing that should be a throw to Chelsea, and I think he gets a few comments from the local Burnley fans there, which has now got one of those nervous smiles on his face there, Mark Cucurella. But it's a throw on to Burnley. It's still a long way from the penalty area, but just looking at the way Kyle Walker's positioned himself there, it looks like he's going to try and get as much distance on this as he can. But in the end, it's not much of a run-up here. After all of that, he ends up taking a short throw back towards Axel Tuanzebe. He then tries a diagonal ball towards the edge of the area, easily headed clear by Reece James. So we're over the halfway mark in this first half. It is goalless between Burnley and Chelsea. It will be Dale to take us through to half-time.
And Burnley are back in possession on the right-hand side. Kyle Walker decides to play it back to his defender, Tuanzebe, and then to Esteve. And Burnley looking to, as we didn't think they would, play it out the back. They've gone for the long ball over the top, looking for Anthony. Reece James has done really well, not only to bring it down, but to keep a hold of the ball and play it into Fernandez. And it's a lovely play in and around the right-hand side, bringing Andre Santos into the game and playing it round the back, just navigating that Burnley press, and now in the clear. Plenty of space for Chalobah to pick out his pass. He's got Cucurella short, and he's got plenty of long options. Opts instead to play it to Tosin Adarabioyo. And Chelsea looking to almost bring a stop-start feel to this game, where they hold on to the ball and frustrate Burnley, and then all of a sudden they're going all out and looking to create those channels.
No, they are. I think it's just that waiting game, isn't it? Both sides have shown that they are very well organised early on. It's not easy to find any sort of real gaps to try and exploit. So it's just a case of either trying to hope for that mistake from an opposite number, or indeed just keep plugging away until you can find that ball down the channel.
Up to the right-hand side, Santos looks to play it in towards Pedro Neto. was close to coming off an offside position, but Burnley win the ball back towards Dubravka as he looks to clear it away on his left foot up towards the centre of the pitch. Jadon Anthony's gone up, looks to win the header, unable to do so. João Pedro's come away with the ball, finding Pedro Neto, and a challenge from Esteve in the penalty area, so we had to get it right, but it was a comfortable challenge in the end. Ball comes into the box, cleared away by Esteve once more, and out behind for a throw. And those challenges there, like that one from Esteve, they're in the box and it looked comfortable enough, but you've still got to make sure to get it right.
No, you do, and it's, as soon as you commit that close to the box or in the box, you've got to make sure you get it right, because if you don't, there's a penalty and potentially a red card in the offing as well. So just shows that Esteve really does trust his ability there.
Adebayo picks the ball up on the halfway line. There's one option to his right in Andre Santos and one more to his left in Chalobah. Decides to go through the middle. João Pedro's dropped deep to get a touch on the ball. He's been plenty involved for Chelsea in the opening 25 minutes, but they've lost out on possession here now. Tutu Amana plays it out to the left hand side. Anthony looks to pick the ball up, but the referee, he's brought the ball back for a free kick. Andre Santos just pulling a little bit too aggressively on Tutuana.
He was a little bit, yeah, and I think that's good news for Burnley in terms of them just trying to stop a little bit of Chelsea possession. I think the issue for Burnley is now that Chelsea seem to be quite set in what they're doing on the field, says whether or not Burnley can find a way to actually upset that.
Well, they've got a free kick that they'll look to put into the penalty area. It's the type of area that you maybe deliver it into either side of the box and then once more into the centre. Chelsea have decided to combat this with a very high line, looking to catch them offside initially. Josh Cullen, the Irishman, standing over the free kick, takes it short in towards Hartman. Hartman in towards the back post, and there's no one in a claret and blue shirt, so that will roll behind for a goal kick. And I have to say, exactly what Chelsea planned.
No, absolutely, and that's going to be the frustration there for Scott Parker, that his side haven't had too many opportunities to try and test Chelsea in defence, but they need to be a little bit more ruthless in terms of actually keeping the ball and doing something with it, as Chelsea do want to play out from the back as opposed to Burnley, but Burnley putting plenty of players forward as well. Yeah,
Fleming looking to put the pressure on Adebayo up towards Reece James. He's played a long ball, but it's a poor one in the end. Pedro Neto saying something in retaliation to the ball that rolled out. Of course, we have no idea what he said, but I can't imagine it was nice, as Walker picks the ball up, plays it in towards Uga Chukwu. Lovely shake of the shoulders there, and he's played it well now up to the right hand side as Tutuana comes into the box, looks to put a ball in towards Fleming, cleared away by Santos, picked up once more, and Fiorentina, he's tried to put a ball into the box, but realistically he can't see what's in the box. He's trying to play it behind him, and we could tell.
Yes, absolutely. From that side, he wasn't entirely sure what was happening, and I think he just wanted to make sure that something went into the box. But I suppose from Burnley's point of view, they are seeing some attacking possession, but they just need to be that little bit more creative in what they're doing. And Chelsea, actually, if we're going to be criticising Burnley, Chelsea have just become a little bit pedestrian in the last few minutes as well.
Unable to create too much, but a long ball over the top looking for Liam Delap. He goes down in the box under the challenge of Esteve. He has done twice now, but the sideline referee puts his flag up for an offside. I have to say, initially it did look like Liam Delap's run was a little early, but it was the right run and the right ball again. You have to say, if Chelsea can get that pass correct with the right timing and the right ball, then Burnley could certainly be under a lot of pressure.
Well, they could be. I mean, I think we're just seeing a fascinating little replay here, because to me, it's clear that anyone who saw an Aston Villa game earlier this season in the Champions League will know exactly what I'm talking about. It seems to me that Chelsea had take two for a goal kick. It seems to me like the ball was rolled to Sanchez rolled the ball to Adebayo. Then Adebayo put his hand on the ball and then took the goal kick himself. Whereas the way Sanchez jogged away from that, it was clear that he already thought the ball was in place. So Chelsea have definitely got away with one there.
Chelsea playing a little head tennis here, trying to get it out from the back as Cullen goes in for the ball. Florentino comes away with it. He has an option to his left and an option to his right. Tries to keep the ball himself. And Chelsea win possession back. Now it's the left hand side. Cucurella. He's got plenty of space to run into, and Tutuana looking to press him down, as well as Uga Chukwu. In the end, he's found Joao Pedro well. And Josh Cullen just standing up against him, not allowing him to get past, but he's found Cucurella. Cucurella and Joao Pedro almost swap positions there in this build-up, but Kyle Walker's come away with the ball. He's being pressed by Gittins and played the ball along the line, only able to find Cucurella. As Joao Pedro picks up the ball and looks to come away with it now on the edge of the penalty area, trying to find Pedro Neto. And Joao Pedro, he leads the league in chances created, and you can see why. The ball's fell to Trevor Chalobah on the edge of the box, and he takes a shot. I have to say, for all that Chelsea have had the ball and how much, I'd say, better than Burnley they've been, they've not really been able to take too many shots.
No, they haven't. It's taken them a while to get towards the penalty area there. We just saw in the end it was a half clearance from Burnley that went to Chalobah that ended up resulting in him having a shot. Although they have been quite close on 2 or 3 occasions where Joao Pedro has tried to play 1-2s either with Delap or indeed with Pedro Neto, and it hasn't quite worked out. And as on this occasion, Enzo Fernandez gives away a free kick.
Enzo Maresca looking over his side, and you'd have to say at 0-0, Burnley certainly will be the happier of the two sides, at least in the opening 30 minutes, because it's not like they've had 0 chances. Both teams able to create, both teams able to get forward. Chelsea certainly having more of the ball and looking a little bit more comfortable on it, but it's not looking like the landslide that I think most people were expecting coming into this game, as Dubravka sets himself up for the free kick, matched by the Chelsea high line again. Cullen wins the header, plays it out to the left hand side. Anthony plays it back to Hartman, and they're forced backwards here, Burnley, only so far as Esteve, and then back to Cullen and back to Esteve again, all the way back to Dubravka. So the long free kick from the halfway line, taken by Dubravka, has ended up with Dubravka with the ball in his own box. Tuchuana in towards Cullen. Cullen's done well to keep hold of the ball. He's got an option out to his right hand side. Ukachukwu up against Cucurella, looks to drift in towards the penalty area, tries to put a ball into the box, cleared away by Reece James. Chelsea look to come away. Liam Delap brings it down. It's good work there from Burnley. A little bit too aggressive though was Tuanzebe as he went in for the challenge and brought Liam Delap down. It will be a free kick that Chelsea have taken quickly and switch the play up to the right hand side. Reece James in towards Pedro Neto. He'll look to run with the ball, I'm sure, and just as sure as I was, he played it backwards. So in towards Reece James, into the stop part of Chelsea's momentum here as they hold on to the ball for a little bit, and then, as I've said before, they'll go all out when they see the opportunity to do so, as Chalobah looks to drift inside. But Chelsea, a team who've scored plenty of goals in recent matches, haven't looked all too likely to actually score in this game.
Not at all, not at all. I mean, Dubravka, it looked like in the first few minutes of this game Dubravka might be busy, but since then you can't even say that his defenders have been that busy. The Burnley 11 are trying to do what they can to stifle Chelsea, but all they're doing really is just keeping 2 banks of 5 around about the halfway line or just inside their own half, and for the time being, most of the time, it seems to be working against Chelsea.
Just on that point, Burnley actually lead the game in shots, 5-3. Both teams having the 1 shot on target from outside the penalty area. As Liam Delap brings the ball down well, does well to turn Esteve, and then playing behind Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto puts it across the box, and that's a lovely challenge there from Kyle Walker, showing not only the experience but the quality that he still has. Gittins, if he gets on that ball in the back post, it's a tap-in.
I mean, it's a goal-saving challenge from Kyle Walker. There's no other way to say it. It's a great turn from Liam Delap. Potentially not the best defending there from Esteve in terms of how he was rolled so easily. The ball from Pedro Neto, I think, is fine. There's no offside because Gittins is clearly behind the ball when Pedro Neto plays it to him. I mean, Gittins is 1 step away from rolling that ball into the net until Walker appears out of nowhere almost and slides that out for a corner which has been taken short.
It's a short corner from Reece James in towards Neto. Back to Reece James once more. And it looks like they'll be getting a second corner, blocked by Jadon Anthony. There was claims that the pass back towards Reece James was offside. Have they shown too much of their hand, or will they try it again? Chelsea, the short corner. They've got plenty of height in the box in Chalobah and Adarabioyo. It looks like it will be a ball in towards the penalty area, headed away once more. And again, Another corner for Chelsea, racking them up now. 3 consecutive corners. It was headed away by Hartman on the near post. And Dubravka is almost surrounded by Scher. When this ball comes into the box, it's almost like they all move into the 6-yard area. And Chelsea being forced to retake this corner.
Yeah, the referee was still doing a bit of housekeeping there with everyone at the edge of the area, everyone inside the 6-yard box, and Chelsea had already taken a short corner, so Peter Banks just asking Reece James to retake it.
Reece James opting for the ball into the box this time, and again right on the goalkeeper as it's headed in around the 6-yard box. It's chaos in the end before it's cleared away off the boot of Cucurella and behind for a Burnley goal kick.
Yeah, well, that's the second time, and as you said yourself, I mean, it's a really good corner, this, from James. I love the way it just seems to start quite flat, and then it just curls exactly right underneath the crossbar. It forces the goalkeeper and the defenders to do something. It's not the sort of corner you can just let go. And Dubravka was actually crowded out by his own teammates there to some extent.
He certainly was, but he did well to get both fists on the ball and punch it away. Even if it was only as far as Cucurella, certainly better than it spilling behind him, where it could have gone anywhere. Dubravka, the Slovakian goalkeeper, showing his quality as a long goal kick is taken and has been given a foul against Burnley here, as I think the challenge up for the header was the issue there.
Yeah, I'm not sure the referee was too happy about that, but the Burnley didn't argue too much. It was just a free kick on the halfway line anyway. It's now played back towards Adebayo.
Chelsea playing the ball over the top as Cucurella brings it down in the penalty area. Laid it off to Gittins. Gittins looked to set up the shot. It's actually a cross in towards the back post, and that's a lovely header. Pedro Neto coming in on the back post. Had to meet it well. It was at an awkward height for him, but he's done it absolutely perfectly. And Enzo Maresca's side go 1-0 up.
They do, and the travelling Chelsea fans like that. The travelling Chelsea bench likes that as well. It's a really good header, this, from Pedro Neto. But it all just starts off with a quick move here, and Dubravka will be frustrated. Burnley are unhappy as well. We'll see from the replay what exactly Josh Cullen's unhappy about. Does he feel there was a foul maybe in the build-up? Is there an offside they're not happy about? Let's have a look here. There's nobody offside when that ball is played. If anything, there's still a yard or two difference. Is there a handball from Cucurella? Maybe. But once Gittins puts that ball in, you've got to say Esteve is not brilliantly positioned there. I don't think anybody would have been offside anyway, but Esteve gets in the way. Looking at that replay there again, Del, has it struck his arm? And even if it has, I mean, can you say that it's helped him? Has he actually done it deliberately?
No, I think it may have taken a touch off of his arm. There's no clear image that we can see to depict that it has. But I think even if it has, his arms aren't outstretched. He's not bringing the ball down closer into him. He's done well. He's done the hard part, bringing it down on his foot. So I think Cucurella, if this does get any sort of challenge or ruled out, I think they'd be very, very unfortunate for it to do so.
It would be, yeah. I think I tend to agree with now that I've seen a couple of those replays. I don't think there's enough of a contact with the arm. Even if there is, then it wouldn't have been an issue. And there's not an issue because there is no VAR. We've resumed, and Chelsea are 1 up.
38 minutes into the game, and Pedro Neto has gotten Chelsea ahead in this tie. As Burnley now, they'll have to open up a little bit more. They'll have to come out and look to create themselves. Pedro Neto getting his 4th goal in the Premier League season, and Scott Parker looking over his side with a task on his hands now. Robert Sanchez has a goal kick cleared up to the right hand side. It's a long ball into Delap. He's done well to bring it down. Gittins couldn't get to the second ball as it's stabbed back towards Dubravka by Cullen. Dubravka will go long as well towards Chuana, brought down by Gittins. As it's almost a give and go here from both sides. Neither team really taking care of the possession. Chelsea just looking not to succumb to the relaxing too much after you've scored debacle. As Florentino picks the ball up on the edge of his own box, he's got no other option but to go back towards Dubravka. Andre Santos winning the long ball, and Chelsea claiming a handball, and they get it. Cullen apparently manhandling the ball.
Well, that's what referee suggesting there, as Josh Cullen saying, well, just lip reading there, ref, that's not right. I mean, he's not happy there at all there, Josh Cullen, but made his mind up there very quickly there, did Peter Banks. I mean, overall, with 5.5 minutes before we hit injury time in this first half, I'd say the game has flowed pretty well. and the referee hasn't really had to get involved. I mean, I think that by and large the decisions that he's been making have been good, and just a bit of frustration for Burnley. I would say that probably the effort that Burnley have put in this first half might even have deserved them going into the break 0-0, but obviously that doesn't count for anything. They have conceded a goal, and it was a very good goal from Chelsea, so they've just got to try and find a way of upsetting the visitors. But here come Chelsea again now with Pedro Neto.
Yeah, Pedro Neto with the ball again on the right-hand side. He claimed it took a touch off Hartman before going over the byline, but the referee, and the sideline referee more importantly, begs to differ. As the Portuguese man up on the right-hand side has a cheeky smile on his face, and the referee's put someone into his box here. It might even be Pedro Neto, because he did pick the ball up, and it is Pedro Neto, so just delaying the restart of the game, I think.
It's a strange one. I mean, as I say, the idea that a player gets a yellow card for wasting time, that's not unusual. That's going to happen multiple times this weekend. But what is unusual, I think, is that in the context of the game, I mean, it's 5 minutes before half-time. It's not as if it's a free kick to Burnley just outside Chelsea's box. It's a goal kick to Burnley. So you'd think that Chelsea have enough players back in position to deal with that, even if it is taken quickly. You know, we talk about a yellow card where you take one for the team, but that doesn't really come into it. It's just a poor one, I think, from Pedro Neto. So, although you might argue he was a little bit unlucky with the referee being quite strict as well.
I think the players know what the rules are, to be fair. They're starting to clamp down on time wasting in any capacity, so I think he's unfortunate.
Well, I mean, they introduced that rule that if a keeper holds onto the ball for more than 8 seconds, you're going to concede a corner. I think it's happened maybe twice this season. Keepers are just getting rid of the ball quicker because they don't want to give a corner kick away for free. So sometimes just a little tweak in the rules can do something there. As Walker slides in there on Szczerbakowicz, ball deflects up in the air, but it's still Chelsea in possession.
It's still Chelsea in possession, but it's bouncing around, and Burnley, they've done well to win it back into the midfield. Florentino cuts it back onto the right hand side. Ugachukwu done well to bring it down. Not well enough, apparently, as Cucurella can get a touch on the ball, and João Pedro looks to break. He's got Pedro Neto to his right and chooses to go to Delap on his left, and I don't know if it's the ball into the lap or if the lap's long strides just work against him here, as he's always outstretched to try and win that ball.
Yeah, the pass needed to be far more square. The pass that Delap was putting across needed to be square. It was far too close to the keeper. There's an argument possibly that the ball played to him was just a little bit too far ahead of him as well. I mean, Delap's not a slow player, as I say. We don't like to use those cliches of good touch for a big man and quite quick for a big man, but it really does apply to Delap. He is a fast player. He is a technical player as well. But Burnley now on the attack here with Anthony, but the pass, Ugachukwu just had too much of a bounce on it, and Chelsea now have it back with 2.5 minutes before we hit injury time. Reece
James on the ball. He's been enjoying his time after returning from injury, showing his quality of how good he is again. Reece James really starting to impress everyone in the Premier League as he gets ready for this free kick. It looked like it was going to be a free kick. He's just actually being allowed to stand on the ball for so long. There's a long ball over the top, easily caught by Dubravka. Then in towards Tuanzebe. Cullen back to his centre half again. Burnley looking to pass the ball around. Still Burnley 0, Chelsea 1 as we cross over the 43rd minute mark. Long ball over the top from Hartman, touched down by Anthony, but dispossessed by Andre Santos. And João Pedro looking to come away with the ball, does find Pedro Neto, but just taken off of him by Hartman. Out to the left, Anthony back towards Hartman. And Burnley starting to move the ball around with a little bit more confidence here.
They are, albeit it's deep inside their own half, and then Hartman plays the ball to no one in particular. I mean, it was about 10 yards short of Fleming, and good on Fleming for tracking back to try and keep it alive, but it ended up going to João Pedro. I think Burnley need half-time now. They just need a few new ideas, and they just need to try and regroup, because right now, with Chelsea having this lead, you can just see that Maresca's side are going to be quite happy to just move the ball around at walking pace almost, but at the same time still be good enough to not let Burnley have it.
Adebayo with the ball, absolutely not moving, waiting for just one Burnley shirt to move towards him, and then plays the ball out to the left as Gittins plays it back towards Chalobah, back towards Robert Sanchez even further. And I think it's exactly as you said, Paul. Chelsea happy to hold on to the ball, keep possession, and as long as they've got the ball, Burnley can't hurt them with it. Again, Adebayo just waits until A Burnley man has to press, as he does it yet again. It's brilliant game management from Chelsea.
It is, absolutely. They are very good at this. Enzo Maresca's side always have been. I suppose that sometimes the criticism is that they can get caught out by being a little bit too pedestrian by a team that can suddenly turn it on. But right now, I'm not seeing where Burnley are going to be turning this on. There was a spell between sort of 20 and 30 minutes before Chelsea scored where Burnley just seemed to have the measure. But I'll break off on that because what a great turn that is from Delap.
Delap's done really well there to find João Pedro as well. But the touch from the Brazilian, not quite as perfect as he would have hoped. Long ball over the top looking for Fleming. Unable to do so. Only the 2 minutes of added time.
Yeah, we've had a goal and we've had one injury, so that probably equates to that. I think it's about right in terms of the added time. And from Scott Parker's point of view, I think he just needs to give Burnley a bit more of a plan B, because right now, whatever Burnley are doing, Chelsea are ready for it.
Chelsea back on the ball. Play back towards Trevor Chalobah. And then to Sanchez again. Chelsea, as you said, managing the game. They've got the answers for everything that Burnley have done. There's been a couple of times where they've been caught out, but even still they've gotten back and defended it really well. They've been well structured in this first half, and not only that, disciplined. When they need to control the game, they've done so. When they've had to turn it on and build up the pressure, they've done just that as well. They've got the goal for that. And heading into half time, it looks like they'll lead 1-0 unless we get a goal in the next 60 seconds. As Chelsea still have the ball in the back of their own penalty area with Robert Sanchez, and they've done well just knocking it round their own half, not allowing Burnley to have any touch on the ball. I think in over 2 minutes now, as Cucurella looks to drive forward. They will try and get a second goal in the first half as Liam Delap takes the shot. He's claiming a deflection. I think he might have got it as well. So it's looking like another Chelsea corner.
Yeah, just the Chelsea corner as the last action of this first half. Cucurella, he's been drifting into that almost Zinchenko style. He's been a left back who plays the central midfield for long spells in the first half. And it's his move there that gets everything started for Chelsea. But now a corner, and it will be an in-swinger this time from Pedro Neto from the right.
Just on the cusp of the 2 added minutes as well. Certainly the last action of this first half, as Pedro Neto puts the ball into the penalty area. Looks like it was about to be cleared away, but João Pedro got to the ball first and it was put behind. So in the end, half-time has come, and it's Pedro Neto's goal on the 37th minute, a diving header into the far post to separate the two sides going in at half-time. It is Burnley 0, Chelsea 1.